All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name's Anthony.
I'm Brian.
The man, the myth, the legend, the crown prince, AJ.
All right, so welcome back to Academia, where we mainly talk about community stuff or the pop culture stuff or anything that just like seems to relate to our lives in general. I know we had like a lot of people that wondering what the podcast was, but really this is just a community podcast along with some pop culture references that allows us to be able to grow as individuals. So like I have a couple things we want to talk about before we even hit our main subjects. Two of our main subjects for today are going to be the controversies between both J.R. Smith and Rosanne. And I'm pretty sure you guys have been pretty updated on what's going on between these two people. But we just thought we'll talk about that with our main subject. As of right now, we're going to be talking about business because I feel like I want to throw in a couple of business inquiries right now. So I don't know if y'all even keep up with Chelsea Ellis. She's a community entrepreneur just like myself. She has an event going on tomorrow that I'm going to go to as of the recording of this podcast. She opened up a shop. It's like a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee or anything, but it's a really nice coffee shop that she opened up. I thought about going to her private event tomorrow to support her. It's been a while since I have been supporting her in a lot of events. My bad, Chelsea, but you know, I just thought to get right back in that community and let people know about it. I actually got some of her information of where is it at, so like, you know, any of y'all want to check out her coffee shop at some point. But like, I want to know what y'all think about her as an improvement somebody, because she's someone we went to school with, and she's totally gone up very well in the business world. Like, what do y'all think on that?
Well, I actually had a couple of classes with Chelsea, and I would say that she's very focused and in tune, and she's very strong. I mean, anytime she's very, when I knew her, she wasn't as very outspoken. She'd be more quiet and to herself, and she was always funny and fun to talk to.
Yeah.
But, you know, basically, she always had her game face on. She just leveled up. She knew when it was time to make the right decisions, and she never really told anybody about, or at least I didn't know her like that, but she never told too many people about what she was doing. She just kind of put it into action and just was a firm believer in that it was going to work, and she's made great progress, and I've been to one or two of her events, and I really like how she had the mindset and the creativeness to put together these ideas and to form an event. So,
Yeah.
And she has different people come and talk about different things and set it up, and it's really a formidable place. So I like it, man. It's good.
Okay.
So, she's
Yeah,
all right.
I gotta definitely say, and I don't know Chelsea personally. I'm not even sure that we've ever spoke, but definitely I could applaud her. Anyone that's able to do something from the ground up, I can definitely applaud that, and I'm behind it 100%. So Chelsea, I definitely applaud you.
Yeah.
If possible, I mean, I look forward to working with you if given the opportunity. So, yeah, I mean, keep up the good work is all I can say, really. We're proud of you over here on this side, so
All right.
keep it up.
So I got her her information for the coffee shop. It's called MAF Gallery and Cafe. It's on 976 Barrett Avenue. It's just pretty much close to Barnestown Road, where I think it's close to where Baxter's is. So if you know where that's at, then like you could probably find her place. But yeah, like I've been working with her for about.
Repeat it again.
What, you need me to repeat it for you again? Okay.
Well, for the fans, you know, most people on the radio.
Yeah. That is true. But I was gonna say that afterwards, but you know it's all right. MAF Gallery and Cafe. That's 976 Barrett Avenue, pretty much close to Barnestown Road. For any of my Louisville listeners, but what I was gonna say was, I've been working with Chelsea for about 3 years now. And, like, you know, she and her father helped me out a whole lot when it comes to my business as well. So I got to definitely give my thanks to them and shout out for her little cafe. I was just letting you know about that because, like, I'm going to go and check out her event tomorrow. And, you know, like, go ahead and support our community. Like, you know, our community, it's a great place for, like, a lot of people to be able to come up with. And, like, the support that we have for this podcast is amazing. The podcast community is amazing. You know, as an entrepreneur city, we've definitely come a long way of supporting each other on a lot of stuff. So I definitely had to throw out something like that. But yeah, that's as far as like any business inquiries that I have right now. I do have a short film that I'm working on that I want to throw in as the little promotion. Yes, I know, shameless plug, whatever. But I am working on a short film. I've been working on it for about a week and a half now. Expect something like that to come out in July. Do y'all have anything y'all have coming up before we hit the meat of the podcast, y'all?
I don't have anything coming up at the moment, but what I will say is to give some advice is that you have to have some kind of backup plan or some kind of way to cope with what it is, because a lot of times when you have something good to drop or important to work on, you get either sidetracked or something gets postponed. So sticking through with something is a lot harder than I thought it would be, as far as like making it happen. It's always something that gets in your way. So I guess you gotta take it a step at a time and know when the right moment is to do so. So I learned that as far as the attention span goes for this generation is that you just kind of have to drop that project whenever it gets done. Mm-hmm. And consistency is the key if you have a big following fan base. Mm-hmm. The good news is when you're first starting out, it doesn't have to be consistent. You can just drop something here and there, and eventually it'll build up. Yeah. And eventually somebody will catch on to what's going on. And then you have to worry about that. But a lot of times when that happens, you're more financially stable, because when you have the supporting cast and fan base, you're able to do more and you're willing to take more of a risk. So support actually makes a big difference in your decision making. So
yeah, that is very true. I actually remembered telling you the other day about like the attention span that a lot of people, your audience, were having, for one. Like, they say that you only have about like 3 seconds to actually grab attention for your audience. If you do not grab someone within that 3 seconds, then like it's pretty much over. It's kind of like an artwork or something, like, or a video you have. If your video does not catch the audience immediately now, they're more than likely going to be like,
they're going to scroll past it, because the market is absolutely flooded with things like that. So you have to have those attention grabbers to definitely capture your audience. And it's also, as far as consistency is speaking, it's more, I mean, it's supply and demand. So the more you supply, the more the product will be demanded. True. So to segue, what I was going to bring up a couple minutes ago, are you laughing like segue was a funny way to say? Was segue a funny way to say transition, sir? Was that comical to you?
I love the J. Cole album, and you know, when he was giving the 1985 track, that catchy part with the segue line, it caught on to me. So he said, I've been focusing on the next way. Never mind that. That was just a segue. So when you said that, I just thought about it.
Anyway, bars aside, what I was gonna say as far as like what I'm working on, I'm not so much necessarily working on one individual thing, more so than I'm just kind of testing the water in multiple things. Now, ironically, I actually just got back from the beach, so not only did I have my toes in the water at the beach, but I got my toes in the water in multiple avenues of things that I'm trying to, look into. So definitely don't be afraid to, especially don't be afraid if you don't know what you want to do yet, because it's not the end of the world, and there's certainly no rush to figure things out. So try an avenue of things. I mean, all you can do is try. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, keep it moving. So don't be afraid to try new things. The difference between the successful person and the unsuccessful person is the successful person, they launch, they just do it. So there is no, I can start tomorrow. Oh, maybe I'll start a podcast tomorrow, or maybe I'll start a YouTube channel next week, or maybe I'll get back in the gym a week from now, a month from now. Start right now. You know what I mean? Today is the day to start right now and do whatever it is that you want to put your mind to. So that's my advice for the day. That's my little tidbit. So, gentlemen, I don't know if you all have anything else, but if y'all want to dive into the meat of the podcast, I'm ready if y'all want.
Well, speaking of business and a lot of its turnabouts and, of course, probably some problems, but JR.
Junior Smith. Junior.
He's going through a lot of controversy right now.
JR. Cavs versus Warriors, game 1 of the NBA Finals. Mr. J.R. Smith. George Hill shoots a free throw towards the end of the game. I believe there was about 4 seconds left. Score. is tied up. George Smith misses his free throw. George Hill, excuse me. Don't look at me like that. George Hill misses his free throw. J.R. Smith gets the rebound, not realizing that the Cavs are tied and he needs to put the shot back up for a layup. Grabs the ball and proceeds to run towards the half-court line where the time runs out. Passes the ball to George Hill with like a second left where he gets his shot blocked. Cavs going to overtime with the Warriors. Cavs get blown out in the game one. J.R. Smith, you are a professional, sir. It is your duty. You get paid millions of dollars to know what the score is, where your position is on the court, and what you need to do at all times on the court. That's what you were paid for, sir. So for you to make a mistake in that clutch situation speaks to your brain, maybe? I don't know, JR. Maybe a little bit too much of the Hennessy there, pal.
I know, right? He did look pretty lit.
If anyone's seen the memes, I know it's meme city right now, but if anyone's seen the meme of LeBron James looking at J.R. Smith as he's running towards the half-court line, it's quite comical indeed. So,
man.
I don't believe there's any defense for J.R. Smith whatsoever. You, sir, as Charlamagne the God put it, deserve the donkey of the day to the fullest extent.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, I believe you have a rebuttal. I don't know where you're going with this, but please enlighten us.
You know, my mind works in a different way. I always have a rebuttal.
I'm fine with the Henny. I'm just kidding.
I think to be honest, he is a professional, and
right.
to an extent, he gets paid to know the game. But he's not the first person to make a mistake like that. As far as we've seen in the past, like with the Fab Five and Chris Webber traveling and then going down the court and not calling timeout and different things like that. So it's not the first time that something like this has ever happened, because in the heat of a moment of a situation, sometimes you're put under pressure and you are making bad decisions, and that has to go with a lot of things. But what I'm going to jump into is, if George Hill makes his free throws like we're supposed to, then we don't have this conversation. But that doesn't mean they would win the game, even if he hits his free throws, because they still have 4 seconds with the Warriors having a timeout, meaning that you got the best
Warriors.
shooters.
So you got Steph, Clay, Kevin. You got plenty of avenues for the shot to be made. But go ahead. Sorry.
You got the best shooters on the planet on one team. So that doesn't mean that they would still win. Now, with this being said, I'm going to break down this whole everything. When he gets the rebound after the first missed free throw, with that being said, he was at the basket, but like the coach said, that doesn't mean he would have made the shot, especially with a 7-footer Durant standing there. Might not have been quite in place, but still nerve-wracking to take a clutch shot like that for him to do that. Now, with him dribbling the ball out, it was idiotic, and he is supposed to know. But my thing is, do what you did for the last 4 quarters to get you guys the lead and tie the game up. So they knew that they had the mindset that they wasn't going to win, but still wanted to begin with if they had to go in overtime. So they just kind of mentally collapsed there when they was like, oh, JR did this, now we're not going to win. And then they got busted for sure. I just don't feel that he should deserve all the credit like that, because there was a controversial call that hopped into LeBron taking a blocking foul in the charge, and they called blocking on LeBron, which that wouldn't have.
They overturned it because initially it was a charge on Kevin Durant. Right. But in a final situation where that call has been consistent throughout the game, it's crazy to me that you would stop the game and review and overturn a blocking call. Like, that's crazy to me that you would do that, first of all. I think it was Tyronn Lue. He said never has that happened ever in a game where they've overturned a blocking call.
A charge to a blocking call.
Yeah, overturned a charge to a blocking call, excuse me. But even still, that was the first thing, and then of course George Hill missing the free throw. That was the second thing. Now, still, I still feel like JR definitely still deserves a lot of the blame here, because you have to know what your position is on the court. You have to know there is no.
He deserves blame.
Oh well, he mouthed to LeBron, I thought we were up.
Yeah.
So, there's no defending that.
But
like, if you listen to, I get that, but if you listen to LeBron's interview, like, there is no, I feel for LeBron, because anytime you have someone drop 51, 8, and 8 and still lose, I mean, what can you say? At this point, I feel like at this point, for anyone who's a LeBron hater, you have to admit that man's greatness. There is no more. You can't say that, oh, LeBron's trash.
Let's not do that. Let's not go into that. I don't like that. I mean, he is great and all that good stuff, and I'm going to do that. But I have to agree with Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith has been going on a rant lately about LeBron James each time about good and negative things about him. He always says all the good stuff first, let everybody know. But I feel like that people give him a little bit. They give him a lot of credit, but then they bag on him a lot. But at the same time, it's like Stephen A. Smith said, his road to the finals is always the easiest road, no matter who he's playing with, because he's the greatest player. With that being said, like Stephen A. Smith said, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, since 2009, when has he played against a top 15 player in the playoffs? He hasn't. You can't name one top 15 player he's played against. So if he even has one person decent enough with him to get there, in the finals he usually plays against a crazy team like the Warriors, something that doesn't happen very often, like Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. That's something that this basketball's never seen before on a 73-9 win team to begin with. But other than the championship finals, the game itself, he doesn't play anybody. And he's had options to switch conferences and things like that. And I don't blame him. If I'm the best and I want to stay in the easiest conference, but you can't stay in the easiest conference and have all the best players. The Western Conference is literally loaded. So, I mean, I'm not hating on him, but at the same time, when you have the easiest road you have, like this year, for prime example, he went against a young Indiana team that didn't have a star. The best player was Oladipo, who just got traded, which was Victor Oladipo. Yeah.
He played for Indiana.
Yes.
That's a strange name.
He's African. I mean, what do you...
I don't think is he African?
Yeah, that's not that strange.
Either way, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's not that strange.
Anyways, go on.
He went there. Okay, then he went against a Toronto Raptors team, which they swept the last two.
The Toronto Raptors team that you've been caping for the last 5 years, Mr.
Whatever happened to that?
Wow. Was that not you?
Yeah.
Was that
On the
not
2K,
you?
there's a difference between playing with somebody on the 2K.
Okay.
DeMar! Was that not you?
Yeah, that was definitely.
Just because you trash them on 2K don't mean that they trash in real life. Don't do that. So you gonna tell me that DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry aren't top 15 players?
They're top 15 players. Top
okay,
20
well then
players.
you just invalidated your argument.
No, 2K is different because I can control Kyle Lowry. I can't go over here and make Kyle Lowry come over here and do that. There's a difference.
Yeah, when you control him, he's trash. So let him play in real life.
Yeah, but this is why they get swept in the playoffs.
You're getting sidetracked right now.
They get swept in the playoffs by LeBron's team. They're just mentally defeated when that team steps on the court, and they just don't have the key pieces that they need. That team's not built to beat the Cavs. So that's another easy path. They've already swept them, no problem. Then you go against a Boston team that doesn't have a Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm. Every year is something different for him. I'm not trying
Nor
to make
do they have a Gordon Hayward either.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to make an excuse for LeBron James or anything like that. You have to play who you have to play against. But everybody hypes up, he did this, he did this. Well, every time either A, the best player gets hurt, or it's a team that just got put together that isn't any good yet.
You can say that, but he still dropped 51-8-8 against the best team in the league. So you can't say, he's not playing any competition, because when he plays the competition, he still rises to the occasion.
He rises to the occasion, but what is Golden State's strategy? Like they did with James Harden, which I'm so upset, but it happens. We're going to let you get his. We don't care if you have 100 points. You can burn yourself out and have 100 points as long as we make sure that you're not getting to this guy and not letting the rest of the team get hot. It doesn't matter if you have 50 or 60 points, as we saw. It doesn't matter. That's their whole game plan. He's going to score. Everybody knows LeBron James is dominant enough that he's 260 pounds. He's going to score at will when he wants to. So why not go ahead and let him drop 100 points and make sure nobody else gets off? Because that's kind of like the Carmelo Anthony strategy. That's what they titled it as, because Carmelo will stand at the court.
Carmelo's washed.
Listen, he will stand at the court and put on a dribbling exhibition. Everybody's standing here. When everybody's standing, you're not in rhythm. They haven't touched the ball. They're just standing there, not moving around. So you can have 100 points. You can have 51 points. As long as nobody else is getting involved, we don't care. So it looks like LeBron James is doing all that he can, and he is. But he doesn't have the supporting cast. If he had other help, as far as the guys and stuff that he could win these finals, but he always has an easy road.
See, my big thing is that they're in the finals.
They took Boston to 7 games. Boston took them to 7 games without Kyrie Irving.
Because Terry Rozier was hooping.
He was hooping, but they took. Now just imagine they would have had Kyrie Irving. That helps Terry Rozier come off the bench and be able to be just as effective and productive when Kyrie needs his rest.
Well, they're gonna dump some of them role players anyway for next season when Kyrie and Gordon come back. But Anthony, go ahead with what you were about to say.
I was gonna say, like, they're in the finals right now, and J.R. Smith, he's over here messing up like it's a normal game, and you're going on saying like, okay, well, a lot of people make mistakes like that in the game, but this is the finals right here. This is serious business. As far as like business go, if the Cavs are going to be losing, they're going to be losing out on a lot of good money and stuff right there when it comes to it.
But here's the thing. I agree with that, but J.R.
Plus,
Smith is
plus
nothing.
it doesn't look good as him for a professional player as well.
It doesn't
because you
look-
got like other people, like let's just go back to the community part for a second. Like you got younger people who are looking up to these NBA players who are wanting to be like them. But if they over here playing like they just some kids on the court, then you can't be looking up to somebody like that.
The thing is, because it's LeBron James' team and the rest of the guys are role players who are supporting cast. J.R. Smith is nothing special or anything like that, so I don't expect much from him to begin with. Now, he was good.
That is not an excuse.
Wait a minute.
Look, see,
Professional, sir.
if
There is
LeBron's
no-
supposed to
there
be,
is no, I don't expect.
if
much
LeBron's
from
supposed to be-
JR.
You
JR's
don't
a
expect much
professional.
from J.R. You
It
don't
doesn't
expect
matter.
much
In
from
that
J.R.
situation, you're supposed to know what to do. So you telling me that if you were JR, you're not gonna know what the score is in that situation?
It's not the negate that he's supposed to know the score. That's one thing, but that doesn't negate the actions. Because, like I said, yes, he dribbled the ball out and then made a stupid pass and all that other stuff when LeBron asked for the basketball or whatever. That's fine. But we're overlooking the alternative. If he hit the shot, whether Jordan Hill make the free throw.
There is no what if, because that stuff had already happened. So there was no what.
But there's no-
there was
even-
no shouldn't have had to come to that because it came to that.
So then what if he misses the shot? If he got the ball and put a putback and misses the shot,
then at least he took a shot. At
Yeah,
least
but we
Instead of-
still
what
would
he
be,
did didn't even
we
give him
would
a
still be
chance.
bagging on him because he missed a
No, he
game-winning
wouldn't.
shot.
No, he wouldn't, because if he missed the layup, on KD, then that's fair game. At least you took the shot. You literally just did the opposite and ran to the other end of the court and was like, "Oh, it's tied."
But with that being okay, so
My bad, LeBron.
That doesn't okay. With this, all I'm saying is this, so I can clear my point, and then that way we can move on.
Okay.
I'm going to say this: he makes the shot, misses the shot, didn't attempt the shot because of the time on the clock. The Warriors have another possession within a reasonable amount of time. This doesn't mean that good decision, bad decision, JR, doesn't mean that they win the game. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's
Okay,
fair,
but,
because
like,
that doesn't mean they
that's
win.
fine,
Hits
but
the
it's
shot or
still-
not, or dribble a clock out, or whatever, that does not mean they win the game.
But wouldn't you want to go back onto LeBron as not being a good team leader as well?
Now, see, I don't even give LeBron that much. He's a
Because
great
if
guy.
he's
how
supposed
do you see that?
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
if he's supposed to be, from what I've been hearing a whole lot, is that LeBron is usually like the team leader. He's usually the guy who helps the team.
Yeah, it's
do
his
what
team.
they
He
need to
is,
do.
absolutely, yeah.
So like, couldn't he also be saying something to him too about JR not being a good team leader as well? Because if you wanted to be someone to lead a team, you want to like try to help and drive them into the right direction. And I could see that LeBron has tried that, but like, obviously you could tell that JR was tripping on something throughout that whole entire game.
No, just JR is just an idiot.
Yeah, well, let's see.
all
That
that is.
still,
That's a little rough.
JR
that
is
still goes
just
to
an
my
idiot.
point. That still
Not
goes
an
to my
idiot.
point. Like LeBron could have at least tried to be a good team lead and try to work his way around the situation. Whatever, if JR is being an idiot or something going on with him, something.
Well,
I mean,
like,
yeah,
hey,
but you can only tell.
gotta
You can
look
only
out-
say
nobody-
to someone, "Hey, don't be an idiot," so many times, and they're still an idiot.
No, that's not even got nothing to do with that. LeBron James knows that if they was going to win a game this series, which they still can, because it's LeBron James, you expect them to at least get one game like they did last year.
I feel like they're gonna get blown out tonight, but-
Only because it's LeBron James. That's why you expect that. Only because it's LeBron. But with that being said, the reasoning is, if they were going to steal a game, that was the game they needed to make it a series. That would have changed
Absolutely
the odds.
agree.
That
Absolutely.
that would be the odds to change the Vegas odds by them winning the first game at Golden State. That
They
would make the
absolutely
whole
needed that
finals
game.
look at least a little different. But now, LeBron, nobody expects them to win. So they're just trying to avoid a sweep, in my opinion. Now, if he pulls something out spectacular, we'll see how the storyline plays out.
Mm-hmm.
But, it isn't to do with, they don't have a real shot. So we'll see. They only have a shot because LeBron James is on the team. But we'll see. If you can get Kevin Love and those guys to step up, then that's a different ball game. But until then, it is what it is.
Well, J.R. Smith is an imbecile.
I won't say that because he made a mistake. You can't call somebody an idiot because they made a mistake.
Jokingly, of course.
There's a lot of
in that situation. Junior Smith was an imbecile.
What?
Anyway,
I know Twitter's been loving him.
Speaking, the memes and all that. The memes, though. Anyway, speaking of imbeciles, Rosanne.
Yes, Rosanne
lost her TV show this weekend, I believe it was. If anyone's ever seen the Rosanne sitcom show from back in the day,
used to come on after Full House or before Full House.
I think the current one was like
a
reboot.
Yeah, the current one was like a continuation or whatever. But it had like all the same cast, and it was back. It was on ABC, and it was doing really well. Excuse me.
It's good, man.
Rosanne lost her TV show this weekend. She sent a tweet out comparing a previous Obama administrator hi, hello, welcome to Academia. My name is Aaron. I can't speak today. She spoke on a past Obama administrator by the name of Valerie Jarrett. She sent out a tweet saying that this woman looked like an ape, comparing her to that of an ape. Anyone who's ever been in America ever knows that comparing African Americans to monkeys and or apes, for that matter, is extremely racist and was a way to down African Americans in the past. So as soon as she sent that tweet out, I believe it was no more than like a couple hours later, ABC pulled the plug on her show.
Yep.
So,
gentlemen, thoughts, concerns, opinions?
Well, I'm just glad that discipline was taken care of. The action discipline was, something that happened immediately, and it didn't take so long. As soon as they found out, they acted on it and did their part. To be honest, it's not really a whole lot to talk about. We have an opinion of Rosanne having a history of these things, and you can only put up with so much as a network, as a formidable network at that. So I'm just glad that all the stands and things that people have been taking, the action discipline has been taken care of. So, I don't really have anything negative to say. I'm hurt that she would say things like that, regardless of how she meant by it and how it hit are two different things. But far as, we always complain about this didn't get done or it got swept under the rug, that they actually took a stand, and we're seeing a little small difference of change with that situation being taken.
Well, if you know ABC's business, they are associated with Disney. And, when it comes to a lot of Disney work, they're very serious on
tight
their business.
Leash.
Yes, they are very
tight leash.
Aaron was talking about a couple of examples earlier. And
anytime you have like a Disney princess, and by Disney princess I don't mean like Cinderella or like Tiana. I mean Disney princess like a Miley Cyrus or a Bella Thorne. Anytime they get off of the Disney leash, they start wilding out, do they not?
Right.
They go through these eras. It's like Disney is like the overbearing parent in the sense that you can't do anything that's like out of Disney's like quota or IA or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Like as soon as you act up, it's like whoa, we don't do this. Mm-hmm. You gotta go.
They're very careful on a lot of their social.
Simply because let me finish. Okay. As far as
well, go ahead. No, you're right.
But as far as what I was gonna say is just based off of what Rosanne said. Now, people from now, mind you, I'm 22 years old, so I'm not super familiar with Rosanne and what her career was in the 80s and 90s because I wasn't alive. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I've heard a lot of speak of Rosanne has always been this way. Her comedy has always been kind of more I don't know what the right word would be, but her comedy has always been kind of dark or kind of gritty. Yeah, gritty. That's a great word, gritty. In her humor, and whereas like she may have gotten away with saying these things like in the past, in front of a small audience or so, what we're witnessing here is more so the social media effect. As soon as you put something out in the world, whether it's a tweet, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's a recorded video, and it gets posted to TMZ or BuzzFeed, whatever you want to call it.
BuzzFeed.
It's nationwide. Like there is no stopping of the spreading. There is no it goes everywhere and everyone sees it immediately. So that's why I feel like the idea of instant ramifications are necessary, because once that virus gets spread in today's world, there's no way to stop it. Everyone's going to see it. There is no, oh, well, it was just in front of a small group of people, so we can sweep it under the rug and keep it moving. You might see one news story about it, and that's it. People now have the ability to post whatever they want to post, however they want to post it, whenever they want to post it, as much as they want to post it. So you definitely got to be careful what you say and what you put out there, because once you put it out there, it's out there forever. So,
well, like one thing is she hasn't only just gone towards like the black people in America or anywhere. Like she's also done many other races as well. Like there was a post of her dressed up as Hitler one time, and she had like a pan of cookies burnt, and she was saying, "Oh, these are freshly baked," and I was like,
that's dark.
Yeah. That's
really
not
dark.
something you want to joke around with.
No,
like that doesn't just go to like towards like the racist black joke that she made a while back ago. Okay, that's really messed up. But she's also tackling other people, like such as like the Jewish people back in the day when they were being what was it called?
The Holocaust.
Yeah, the Holocaust and all that. And during that, like that's still something you don't want to joke about too. Like these things are very touchy subjects you want to talk about right now.
Absolutely.
And you definitely got it right. Like these times, you got to be careful what you put out there. And, you know, she probably grown up around those times where she's like, oh, good old racist joke.
You can make a funny joke in Mississippi in a bar and everybody's going to laugh and it's great. But nowadays, if you make that same joke in that same bar in Mississippi, sure, everyone might laugh, but someone's going to have a camera and record that joke. And then someone a liberal in New York is going to freak out. And it's going to go everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I would say, as far as like speaking more on how things are, we're definitely a generation that's a lot more, and people always like to joke, like pull out that snowflake term. I definitely think that while this generation is definitely indeed a lot more soft per se than like previous generations, there are still some things that you don't joke about. So that's my take on it. I mean, like some things are funny, yeah, absolutely, and there's definitely things that are taken way out of proportion. But there's absolutely still things that you don't joke about and that you know that you're not supposed to say. So
I don't think she was very wise on any of those choices that she was making. And, you know, like, even though ABC has made a lot of money off this show, apparently.
It was like their number one show. Yeah, and they pulled the plug like that.
Instantly.
So, like, clearly, ABC is definitely, and I think it's definitely the ABC plus Disney's influence as well. They're definitely speaking to their moral code, considering that definitely money was not the issue with this show, because I believe it was number one on ABC at the time it was pulled. So,
yeah, they just said, like, within hours, they have pulled that from right after she posted something like that. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Using the term abhorrent, I believe. I don't think I've ever used the term abhorrent to describe anything. So, it was absolutely disgusting what she did. So, thanks, ABC, for sticking up for the people.
Yeah.
We applaud you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's why
even
I love me
like
some,
her castmates, Roseanne's castmates, they were all like disgusted and spoke out against her too. No one had her back with that statement.
Yeah,
so that
did.
speaks to how disgusting the statement really is. If no one has your back, even the people that you work with or your so-called homies, the people that you work with, your coworkers, and they're like, nah, we're good on that.
At that situation, we don't really know if someone had their back, because for one, nobody's going to jump in a limelight to defend somebody who's already in the fire.
And that's true. That's true.
With that being said, with their comments behind the scenes can be a different ball game. But what I feel is that, you know, something that's serious, like it's because of the topic. You know, if it was something different, you might be able to stand up for somebody. But because it's about race and, you know, that black and white issue that we always talk about, it's kind of hard to say anything about it in this day and age, and all the stands that have been taken because of that. So when something like that gets brought up, like that, religion, politics, it's kind of hard to you just got to let it happen. It's just not
I have a really good thing that I want to add to this podcast. Anthony, how are we doing on time? Because I have another main topic that I just thought about.
We're at 35 minutes.
35 minutes. Okay, cool. I got a really good one. So the NFL, we all of us know how, like last season, the season before, Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem and all that. The NFL now made it mandatory that everyone has to stand with their hand over their heart during the national anthem. And if you don't want to stand during the national anthem, then you have to stay in the locker room.
I would also like to add on that. I would like to add on that I can't remember, and I'm sorry, guys, the team that said something about that comment. Steve Kerr. Well, no, but that's not the team I'm talking about. Steve Kerr said that he felt like that was idiotic to do, which I agree with about that. But there was an NFL owner or team that said he would be gladly to pay the fines.
I think it was the Jets, I believe.
No, it wasn't the Jets. I'll know if you say it, but it wasn't them.
Maybe it wasn't them.
It was a team that said that they would be gladly to pay the fine if there was a team that stand the owner would just. But I'm surprised nobody has back, and they're punishing the owners, to pay the fines and all that other stuff for not standing. So it almost makes it seem like that it hurt Colin Kaepernick because now they're forced to do it as opposed to.
Well, here's the thing, and here's what's upsetting to me with this whole situation. The idea of the protest was never to. People act as if the protest was strictly just to protest the national anthem itself. Like there was no other meaning behind it. People act as if we're just rebelling against the American flag and the protest. No, we're not standing for that. That's not what the protest was about at all. The protest was taking a stance against police brutality against African Americans. Now, I don't see how people.
Didn't they take the national anthem out of school? That was a big thing too because they was like, not everybody.
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
Yeah, they took something out of
the
Pledge of Allegiance or whatever. Remember, we used to stand up and say
the Pledge of Allegiance when we graduated.
Yeah,
and that was only 4 years ago. So.
But then again, that was like something that wasn't coming up very often.
That's not never do it at no Eastern. I ain't never.
What are you talking about?
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
I mean, just because you might not have stood up for it when it was said every morning, sir. I don't think I might not have stood up for it every morning. I might have been just walking into the building as the national anthem.
I might have been asleep, but I still remember
the Pledge of Allegiance. So, not the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, but and still.
Well, I was told, I heard that they had took it out of school or something like that due to religious beliefs and stuff, because some people don't believe in that or whatever from foreign countries.
No, you're not thinking about the pledge. You're thinking about the Bible. The Bible was taken out of schools, right?
Yeah, that's been out for a long time.
I don't know. I'll have to do my research. I apologize, guys.
No, it's all good. This whole episode is pretty much about knowing your place, knowing what you need to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I guess I'll wrap up the Pledge of Allegiance thing. I think that's terrible, and I think it's ridiculous of the NFL to do that. So,
well, that's what happens when you become. You're not a slave, but when somebody's paying you millions of dollars, it's sink or swim. And I understand standing what you believe in, but it's really hard for a celebrity that after he's been poor before or a mediocre person to make millions of dollars and be. Because when you make millions of dollars, you don't live a normal life. To go back to being like plain Jane again. So like, I'm not saying that don't stand at what you believe in and let the money control you or anything. But if you've never been that way, then that's really hard to make a transition back. Because then it's like, well, I know I'm not going to be making this much income because eventually after you leave the NFL and if you wasn't a big star, your name kind of fades slowly unless you're consistently on some type of television set. So. But that's still not the same income, so you're gonna have to downsize houses, move, and all the other stuff. And then if you've already started a family and things like that, you're forced to put them in a rougher neighborhood due to save money of the assets you have. So it's really kind of hard to make that transition back over. And a lot of people ain't gonna make the transition back on because I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't think I'll be making the transition over either. I think I'll just keep my mouth closed and. It is what it is.
No, I mean, and it goes back to like what we were speaking on a previous podcast. We were talking about the teachers protesting.
Yeah.
And how Brian, you had mentioned that how them protesting, they would lose that paycheck maybe if they didn't like go to work that day or what have you, and how they might need that paycheck to support themselves. I mean, it's a case by case basis now. in my heart of hearts, I would like to believe that I would definitely still speak out against the issue of police brutality as far as being in the NFL and being a person of higher stature standing up for what's right. So I would love to believe that I would be able to, stay in the locker room and continue to protest. If they're going to silence me by, preventing my way of protesting in front of people, then I'll, I guess, do it behind the scenes. But then in that same mindset, I mean, if I'm relying on, not if I have like sponsorships that I have, or that if I'm relying on paychecks from those sponsors, or if I'm relying even on paychecks from my employer being my team, then I mean, sometimes it is what it is. You have to be able to say, well, can I stand for the greater good, or do I stand for what I have to do to take care of myself? So it's definitely interesting that you could even draw the comparison between those two, because it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, is that all we got for today, guys? Are we ready to make a closed caption?
Well, that we pretty much discussed everything about the meat of the podcast.
Where are we at? 40 minutes or something?
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We can close it
pretty
out.
good.
Yeah, that's a decent one.
Well, I'm going to throw in some shameless plugs again before we end it. Of course, check out Chelsea's business if you're locally in Louisville. It's MA Cafe. I think it was like 976 Barrett Avenue. Yeah, go ahead and check that out. It's a nice little shop. I don't drink coffee, but, she got other things there. Go ahead and check out her out. Support our community. I got my side film that I'm coming out with. I'm working on it right now. Give y'all some updates on all my social media so y'all can check that out. You guys got anything that y'all want to throw in or something like that?
I don't have anything to throw in. I got actually, there's a book I want you guys to check out.
Okay, a book? What's this book about?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit more reading, I guess I would say. More so on my phone than actually like in hand, because it's just kind of how it is now.
Hey, as long as you're reading something, that counts, dude. So
I'm ready to pull up this book. Hold up. I just need to see who the author is, because I don't know if there's one book at the same time. But anyway, it's called The Obesity Code.
The Obesity
And
Code.
basically, it's not real. Well, it's got some statistics in it. I think the guy's name is Jason. I can't think of his last name. It starts with an M. But if you get Jason pulled up, you'll find it. And basically what it talks about is the percentage of America as a whole of being obesity and laziness. And it gives tips about your dieting and how to sustain that, and how, like, you don't have to be a slave to some type of meal plan or anything like that, because I don't really go by that. I feel like as long as you're eating healthy and eating fresh stuff, or what you can afford to at least halfway to a certain extent, you have to go by your budget, but really try on that, because I believe that health is really important, because then you end up spending your wealth on your health. So, the Obesity Code, it's a really good book. It's in black and white. So, like, the cover is black and white. Mm-hmm. And it's really good. You guys should check it out. And basically just kind of breaks it down. It gives you, like, a different view and a perspective on the book. And then in each chapter, it talks about, like, it peels back layers of how, what to look for and how this is important, and the mindset of America and the obesity and how, like, we approach things. Because I remember when I was eating fast food and stuff like that, we didn't think much about it at the time. So it just gives you a different outlook and view and stuff on it. So
Okay, that's good. We can definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm. My word for the day, I'll just loop it back to what I said in the beginning of the podcast. Definitely don't be afraid to dive into whatever it is that you feel like you're interested in. A good little quote for the day: the difference between the successful person and the unsuccessful person is the successful person launches. They just do it. They get on with it and they start it. Take yourself off of the someday I'll do this, or tomorrow I'll start that, or next week I might do this, or maybe one day I'll stop with all the maybes, and sometimes the possibilities. Just start. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Nike. They're not sponsoring us, but
right.
That's my word for the day, people. So definitely take the time out to go and start something today. Today, right now, listening to this, after you finish this podcast, go do something that you've been putting your mind to.
I feel that, man.
Definitely do that.
Yeah, that's good.
Of course, my plugs are always the same. You can follow me on all of my social medias at Crown Prince AJ, CROWN PRINCEAJ. We appreciate all the support. If if anyone's interested in guest starring on a podcast, again, I always add that at the end too. If y'all want to guest star, definitely reach out to us. Where we would love some extra input. So feel free to reach out, and we'll catch you all on the next one. We appreciate it, guys.
Matter of fact, I actually need to discuss with you guys a couple of podcast guests. The list is building up. It's just that we need to figure out a time for them to come by and all that, and it works for you guys too, so they can come by and talk about it. But yeah, really, I think lately I've been getting a lot of people dropping their mixtapes. But there's some people that's actually pretty good. Some of them, they may need to get some work on and all that. But yeah, definitely want some guests to get on here, and I will discuss with you guys later about that. Brian, you want to throw in your little plug?
All my plugs are under maintenance.
You want to get on the mic if you want to say all that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's fine. Well, mine is Anthony D. Marsh on pretty much Twitter and Instagram. You can check me out there. Facebook page is Anthony Marshall Studios. Website is the same thing, Anthony Marshall Studios. Go ahead and check those out if you want to. So, yeah, thanks again for another episode of the podcast, guys. Went very well. Pretty much the theme for today is know your place, know what you're up to. Don't act dumb whenever you're doing something professional. All right.
That's that was
whatever you put out there, it's out there forever. So
pretty much. You
can't
something.
reel it back in. It's not a fish.
Exactly. When you got plenty of eyes, think about what you're doing. But all right, that's all for episode 7 of the podcast. I hope you all have a nice weekend today.
We love you all. Thank you.
And we'll see you all in the next episode.
Peace.